Hi guys, it's Brittany TV and welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to talk about something that I have had recent experience with, and that is buying a new car. So I just recently bought my first new car. Oh, what an experience that was. But I just want to give some tips to follow through the steps of what you should do when you're in the market to buy a new car. So, step one, I think before you look at any specific cars, you should first decide what you actually need in a car, such as features, drivability of the car. Don't just look at something for the aesthetics, but look and see what you really need. For instance, how I came about buying a new car and thinking about buying a new car, my old car was having a lot of problems. It was a 2004 Mazda 6. So at the time that I was really thinking about buying a new car, this car was 11 years old. It was having a lot of problems and issues that I really didn't want to get fixed because the cost to fix the car was basically more than the actual value of the car itself. So at this point I was like, okay, I really don't want to put any more work into this car other than routine things such as oil changes. I don't want to get a whole new engine, so like it's just best for me to look for a new car. Since I had graduated from college not too long ago and I was working, I needed a car that was reliable because I have a pretty nice commute. I drive about 45 minutes to get to work, so reliability was definitely something that I needed in a car. Other things I looked at was I wanted something that got good gas mileage. There were little things in the car that I would want, little features such as I always listen to my cell phone for music, so I wanted something that was Bluetooth compatible. I don't like super big cars, so I didn't want something that was big, but I didn't want something super small either. So I needed something that was in the mid-size sedan category. So, like I said, the first step that you should think about is what you actually need in the car. Everybody doesn't need the same things. Different people need different things for their lifestyle and for what they do daily. So that's what you should really look at. So step two, after you've decided what you actually need in a car, you should look up cars that fit into the category of things that you need. So for instance, what I did was I would go on the internet and I would look up things, search things in Google under the category of cars that I wanted or the features that I wanted. So for instance, I might look up what cars are really reliable but also really affordable, or what cars are good for recent grads, or cars that get good gas mileage. So when you're looking at these things and looking them up, you write them down and you start to see what categories overlap, like which cars are meeting most of your requirements. And that's how I kind of got down to decide which cars I wanted. I think I scaled it down to 5 cars by looking and searching this up. So once you get to a pretty low, decent number and that you've scaled it down a little bit, this is when you want to try to start looking at the specific cars and seeing their specific features and what they offer in different models, and then really just do your research. I can't stress enough how important it is to do research. You can get a lot of different reviews. If you're getting very variable reviews, like some people are like, oh, this car is awesome. Some people are like, oh my goodness, I hate this car. That's something that you really want to dig into. Or if certain people are saying, if you get a whole bunch of good reviews, that's probably a good indication, like, okay, this is a good car, I want to keep this on my list. So I did a lot of research. Like I said, it probably took me, I would say I researched this car. I didn't buy a new car until a year after I started thinking about it. So I did a lot of research on the car that I wanted, and I went back and forth, and I finally got down to the car I ended up buying, which is a Hyundai Elantra. So once I knew I wanted to buy the Hyundai Elantra, I researched a lot even before buying it. But like I said, do a lot of research. It's not gonna hurt you. Once you do also scale it down, go to the dealership, but the important thing is, go to the dealership on a Sunday. Do not go to the dealership yet when salespeople are going to hound you, because they're like those little birds on Finding Nemo. Like as soon as you step onto the premises, they're like,
can I help you? Can I help you? Mine.
So go to the dealership on a Sunday where you're not going to be hassled and that you're just going to have the freedom to look around. No, you're not going to be able to sit in the car and get a feel for the inside, but you can still get a feel for the aesthetics of the outside and kind of see how the inside looks to see if you like how the car looks in person, face to face. Sometimes as soon as you see something face to face, you're like, okay, that might be another reason for you to say, oh, I don't want this car, I don't like that car. And you might take that off of your list. The most important steps next is decide when is the timeline that you think you're gonna buy the car and how you are going to pay for it. Of course, it's not the most exciting part because I'm pretty sure we all just wish that we would have enough money just to put all the money down and buy the car right away, but unfortunately, not all of us do. So, the thing that I started doing was I just saved up. Every single time I got paid, immediately the first thing that I would do is pay myself. And by pay myself, I would put money in savings and I put money towards my car fund. That is what I would always do. So I got paid every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, I was setting up a certain percentage of money and I always put that same amount or more into my fund to get my car. So over time, you know, that grows and that was going to be my down payment. Now when you make a down payment, your down payment should be, at least in my recommendation and a lot of car expert, financial experts say that you should put at least 20% of the car's purchase price down when you are buying it, because we all know the price of a car depreciates as soon as you buy it off a lot. So 20% pretty much is you putting that amount of money down so you're not having to pay more than what the car is worth at the time that you're buying it off the lot. So, well, when you're driving it off the lot. So try to aim for 20%, of course. The higher the price of the car, the more 20% is going to be. But of course, the more you can put down, the better, because also if you do need to go get a loan, it's going to help your chances of getting approved for getting a car loan, because they'll see that you don't have as much to pay if you're putting more down at front. But yeah, so money you need to buy the car, so decide how you're going to have to pay for it. And sometimes how you're going to pay for it is going to determine when you're going to be able to get it. If you are making less, then it's going to require you a lot more time to save up for the down payment. You might be looking at maybe 6 months down the road before you can even think about buying a car. But it's so important because you don't want the car buying the monthly payments to put a strain on you. You want it to just be something that you know you still can pay, but it's not causing you to wonder how you're going to pay for everything else. After you decide that, and after you have become an expert on the car you want, and maybe you've asked around and you've done your research and you've done extensive research, now is a good time to try to test drive it. Of course, normally to test drive it, you are going to have to walk into the dealership. Go to the dealership. Don't have any expectations. Don't tell the salesman too much. Just say, oh, I'm looking at this car, I'm researching. Don't tell them. I would just recommend telling the salesperson as little information as possible. Just be as vague as you possibly can. And just say, okay, I want to test drive this car. Test drive it. And don't let them hassle you. Don't let them pressure you. Just test drive it and see how you like it. I don't think you should step into a dealership at all with a salesperson until you are a huge expert on the car that you want or the cars that you are thinking about getting. So those are my tips. If you guys would like me to make a video explaining more of the car buying experience once you're actually at the stages that you're pretty sure, like within a week or the day of that you plan on driving it off a lot, I can make a video. If you would like to see a car tour of my new car, it's a 2016 Hyundai Launch Value Edition, just let me know in the comments. But I hope that this helped, and I hope you guys have a great day.